Welcome back to the channel. Next, car lunch. What if the 2027 Ford Mustang could give you the classic muscle car experience without destroying your wallet every time you visit the fuel pump, service center, or insurance office? Today, we're looking beyond the aggressive design and loud performance to uncover the real ownership costs, expected fuel economy, resale value, and the hidden value that could make this Mustang much smarter to own than you think. The 2027 Ford Mustang continues to carry one of America's most recognizable performance car names. But this generation is no longer just about straight-line speed. For American buyers and overseas customers in Japan and the Middle East, the bigger question is simple: can the Mustang still deliver excitement, while remaining practical enough for everyday driving? Let's start with price. For the United States, an estimated starting price for the 2027 Ford Mustang could be around $34,000 to $37,000, depending on the trim and equipment. Higher performance versions could move well beyond $50,000. In Japan, imported pricing could roughly reach the equivalent of $45,000 to $65,000 or more after taxes, shipping, and market-specific costs. For Middle Eastern export markets, pricing could vary significantly, but a realistic imported range may sit around $40,000 to $60,000 depending on specification and local fees. These are estimates, because final 2027 pricing and market availability can change. Now let's talk about the biggest ownership question: fuel economy. The Mustang is not designed to be an economy car, and that's important to understand before buying one. Depending on the engine and driving style, real-world mileage could land somewhere around the low to mid-20s miles per gallon for combined driving, while highway driving can be noticeably better if you keep your right foot under control. And that is where the Mustang becomes interesting. Drive it aggressively every day, and fuel costs can climb quickly. Drive it normally during commuting and save the performance for weekends, and ownership becomes much easier on your budget. A hybrid or fully electric Mustang-style performance model could eventually change that equation even more, but buyers should not assume every 2027 Mustang will deliver EV-like savings. The real advantage here is choosing the right engine and trim for your lifestyle instead of paying for performance you rarely use. Maintenance is another area where smart buyers should look carefully. The Mustang benefits from Ford's huge North American service network, which means finding qualified technicians, replacement parts, tires, brakes, filters, and other common components should be relatively easy across the United States. Routine maintenance could include oil changes, filters, brake inspections, tire rotation, and fluid servicing. Costs will depend heavily on the engine and performance package. A normal Mustang should be manageable, but high-performance versions can become significantly more expensive because performance tires, brakes, and specialized components cost more. Over 5 to 7 years, your biggest ownership expenses may not be the purchase price itself. Fuel, insurance, tires, brakes, and depreciation can make a much bigger difference. And depreciation is something Mustang buyers should watch closely. The Mustang has a huge advantage: brand recognition. It has decades of history, strong enthusiast demand, and a name that people around the world understand. That can help resale value compared with less recognizable performance cars. However, trim selection matters. A desirable configuration with good maintenance history can be easier to sell than an expensive, heavily modified example. If you want stronger resale value, avoid unnecessary modifications and keep complete service records. Insurance is another reality. Because the Mustang is a performance-oriented sports car, younger or high-risk drivers may face expensive premiums. Your age, driving record, location, coverage level, and selected model can make a huge difference. For a value-focused buyer, getting insurance quotes before purchasing is just as important as comparing monthly payments. Now, how does the Mustang actually feel on the road? In city driving, the Mustang is surprisingly usable. Modern technology, automatic transmission options, driver assistance features, and a comfortable cabin make everyday commuting much easier than the old muscle cars many people remember. It is still wider and longer than a typical compact car, so narrow streets and tight parking spaces require attention, but it can handle normal American city traffic without drama. On the highway, this is where the Mustang feels at home. The car offers strong stability, confident acceleration, and a comfortable cruising character when you are not constantly pushing the engine. For long American highways, that combination can make the Mustang more than just a weekend toy. But there is one important limitation for business buyers. The Mustang is not a pickup or commercial cargo vehicle. If you need serious load-carrying capability, a truck such as the Ford F-150 makes far more sense. The Mustang's trunk and rear seats are better suited to groceries, luggage, small equipment, or everyday personal items rather than heavy commercial loads. So why would a small business owner even consider it? Because not every business needs a truck. For a salesperson, contractor visiting clients, real estate professional, or business owner who wants an eye-catching daily vehicle, the Mustang can combine transportation with personality. It simply cannot replace a true work truck. Now let's compare it with one American competitor, the Chevrolet Camaro. The Camaro has historically offered similar muscle car appeal and performance, but the Mustang has a major value advantage through its long-running global identity, broad Ford service network, and strong aftermarket support. For an overseas buyer, parts availability and brand recognition can be extremely important. The Mustang's international reputation can also help when it is time to resell. And that brings us to the hidden value of the 2027 Mustang. It is not necessarily about getting the cheapest car. It is about getting one vehicle that can deliver daily usability, highway comfort, strong performance, recognizable styling, and potentially respectable resale value in one package. For American roads, that makes sense. It can handle long highway trips, urban traffic, weekend driving, and everyday commuting. For Japanese buyers, size and parking requirements should be considered carefully, especially in dense urban areas. For Middle Eastern buyers, highway performance, cooling requirements, tire selection, and local service support become especially important. The smartest Mustang buyer is not necessarily the person who chooses the most powerful version. It may be the person who chooses the trim that delivers the right balance between performance, fuel costs, insurance, maintenance, and resale value. So, is the 2027 Ford Mustang worth considering? If you want maximum cargo capacity, this is not your vehicle. If you need a serious commercial workhorse, buy a pickup. But if you want an American performance car that can still function as a daily driver, has widespread parts support, recognizable styling, and the potential to hold its value better than many ordinary sports cars, the Mustang remains one of the most interesting choices in its class. And remember, final 2027 specifications, prices, engine choices, and market availability may vary by country, so always check official local information before making a purchase. If you enjoyed this review, hit the like button, subscribe to Next Car Lunch, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest car reviews, new model updates, ownership cost breakdowns, and future automotive news. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.